It's been 2 years since groundbreaking and we're putting the last of the drywall up in our garage apartment. First is a flashback to the HVAC era when Elena and I had to do some ourselves before getting smart and bringing in the pros. There's some pretty comical Easter eggs in this one you won't want to miss. The very first piece of ceiling drywall we have to do is going to be here in the utility room. We want to put that sheetrock in before we put the supply trunk in, where that's going to be connected to these pipes here. Once we put that in, it will be near impossible to access this back corner to do any sort of sheetrock work. One thing to note is I did put some blocking strips in around each of the duct penetrations because I knew I'd be splitting the drywall there. You can kind of see them through the Sega. Those are just 1x3s and 1x4s with some pocket screws holding them flush with the bottom of the I-joist, and that's just to give me a little bit of wood to screw drywall screws into. I did the same thing at the corner here with the 1x4. I just put screws in through the top into my top plate, and that is providing us an edge to both tape the Sega to, but also put drywall screws into to keep the corner secure. Now let's transfer this cryptic diagram onto this beautiful sheet of 5/8 Type X drywall. Well, by golly, we made it happen. It was tedious and difficult, but we cut around all those pipes, got the drywall up there. We did cut a little bit more than the anal carpenter in me would like to see out of some of these areas. Cracked that right there, trying to put it up. But overall, I don't think it's a horrible job. I'm going to fill those little voids with the little moon-shaped cutouts that we generated when we expanded the holes a little bit, and bed all those with mud, throw some tape over it, and do my best job trying to finish this. I think the drywall finisher will appreciate it if we do finish all this, because it will be almost impossible to climb over all this crap. Luckily, we were able to avoid any seams back in that corner. That would just be horrible. We just have to fill some screw holes there. But we figure we will do our best finishing up to, this edge or so, or basically up to where this pipe is. Throw some primer on it, and heck, we might as well paint it while we're at it and get that part out of the way so we can move on to the rest of our HVAC. Here's the mud I'm using, some USG midweight purple lid. This was requested by our drywall finisher for the finishing coats, and so I've already picked up 10 buckets of this, might as well start using it. He asked for the all-purpose green lid as well, 15 buckets of that. That'll be coming with our full drywall order that gets delivered, but only Home Depot carried this midweight, so I got the 10 buckets there. We'll be getting all the rest of our drywall materials through Lowe's. That was quite a bit of work. Did an embedding coat, a second coat, and then a last kind of final coat before sanding. Sanded with my little power sander, and I think I got, sort of an amateur-ish looking job. And now we are finally ready for primer. This was a real pain to get around some of these smaller pipes and stuff too. That was not fun. And getting all the way up against that wall, that was also not fun. Oh my gosh, I have literally drywall dust eyeshadow. After doing all that sanding overhead. That was not fun. I had my respirator on though, so I at least protected my lungs. Anyway, now we can prime and paint and hopefully never have to touch that corner above the HVAC again. I don't even want to look at it again after all of this work. To reach in this corner, this is my signature move. I call it the scaffold straddle. To hang off in here. Quick note on the drywall materials. I priced it out from like 4 or 5 different suppliers, including Home Depot and Lowe's, and then a few different specific drywall supply houses. And unfortunately, the supply houses just cannot compete with the big box stores. Now, of course, they offer the service of bringing it in and they will boom it up to a second floor with a boom truck if you need that. But that comes at a pretty good cost. It was like $1,000 premium to get that service. Normal builders can soak that up, no problem. You know, it gets just offset in a 30-year mortgage, gets forgotten about. I would like to save that $1,000 if possible. That's, you know, a good bit of supplies for us. Takes $1,000 off the drywall tab. So I am going to get it through the box store. Our finisher actually prefers 8-foot sheets too. It will be a few more butt joints, but they're confident in their butt joint finishing abilities. And if it keeps the cost total down for me, I'm okay with that. Today we are getting started on phase 2 of drywall. That is all the downstairs, the garage, utility space, bathroom, and workshop. It's just Hector and his uncle today that are starting to get hanging on the ceiling. We've already got some of the first screws going in, you can hear in the background. I was up real late last night finishing all the Sega, wrapping it around this soffit, doing all the ceilings and getting as much as we could in the garage. We didn't have enough Sega to do all of the exterior walls, but we came pretty close. Just 2 walls that we didn't get, but I am so excited to see drywall go up in this space. We're pretty done looking at insulation. We had some major cleanup to do to get prepared, just getting all of the stuff off the floor, moving tools, moving other materials, and it's certainly not perfect, but it's clear enough to work anyway.
We are using 5/8 drywall on the ceiling and 1/2 inch on all of the walls. 5/8 is required by code to have fire separation from the garage in the living space. Because of that, we will also be using 5/8 drywall on the stairwell wall that is next to the entrance of the living space. There's a couple of detailed things we did to prepare for drywall when we were installing other components earlier on in the build. So I want to give you an overview of a couple of those things because one of the things the drywallers said they have never seen done in the 10 years of drywalling. The first is the 2x4s that we use to mount the garage door tracks to. So we installed these pretty early on in the build, but when we did that, we made sure to leave a gap at the top here so that they can fit some drywall up there. It's about a 5/8 inch thick space. It might be slightly larger, but the idea is that they can slide in that drywall and it doesn't cause them any issues. I'm up on the scaffold now to show you the next two. It's a little bit easier to see up here. The next has to do with these brackets that are holding up our garage door track. Whenever the installer came to install our garage doors, they put in these little spacers here that are basically like a piece of clear white PEX. That's to allow space for the drywall once again. And the drywallers said that they have never seen this done before in their 10 years of doing drywall. So if you're installing your garage door tracks, remember that little tip. The last is with this drywall behind our mini splits. We installed the mini splits pretty early on in the project. And so whenever Alex installed the drywall, he made sure to leave a tiny little gap up there. Another thing to note is down in the garage, we have 3 places where we have access panels. One that is for our drain pipe. It's like a clean out, I think.
Second is a 14x14 opening in the soffit. We honestly just had an extra access panel, so we figured we'd put one in here just in case we ever need to access the middle of this large soffit. And third is going to be a flush mount panel behind our Aqua hose bib in case we ever need to inspect or access it from the backside.
All right, so I took a 3-hour nap because I pulled an all-nighter getting ready for this, taping all the SIA up and doing some last minute odds and ends. So let's see what they did in 3 hours. Looking good. Got all the 5/8 up in this front garage. Look at that, right before lunch. Big stack of 5/8 is gone. That's cool to see. So we're coming to the end of the 5/8 here. Probably gonna need some more. We'll have to make a trip tonight. Got the 5/8 on the bottom of the soffit. this side will get 5/8 as well, just to basically wrap her up around. It's sort of part of the ceiling. Looks like the ceilings are pretty much wrapped up down on this first floor, and we're now getting on the walls. Let's go. Back garage has got about half the walls on it.
Mira los metalitos. No, a regular.
A little bit of drywall hanger art. Down to the last couple sheets in the back garage. We even reused a little bit of the blue board over there from the bathroom left over upstairs. Trying to get as much out of the scrap as we possibly can. It's like 5 o'clock, still burning. These guys are here around 7, quarter after 7 or something in the morning. They're not messing around.
30 minutes.
You can stay as late as you want, but I'm surprised you're still working. Oh my gosh, you guys just go and go and go. On these interior walls where there's no Sika, the guys are using some Tight Bond, just basic drywall adhesive. Just helps hold the panels on a little bit better, eliminates nail pops in the future. It's like quarter to 7 o'clock. These guys are still hanging drywall. They do not quit. It's been like 10 hours today. They must have made a goal to get this front garage wall done or something, but oh my gosh, they're flying. Tomorrow is gonna be the top stairway. I built this little platform so that we can put Sika up there, and they're gonna utilize that for the drywall as well. And the guys are rolling out. It's probably a little bit after 7 o'clock, and they've done like 3/4 of the garage. 2 guys for the first 4 hours, and then 3 guys for the second 6 or so hours they were working. And thank goodness we hired this out, because it was not even well, I guess I should say it wasn't even a thought in our mind to not hire drywall out. I probably said something similar on the upstairs drywall video, but just the 2 of us would have probably taken a year or so to hang this. Not 10 hours. I think they did a nice job. All the screws are countersunk really nice and neatly. That's the beauty of using the purpose-built drywall guns. It makes it easy to get perfect screw sets every single time. All the screw patterns look good. These 1/2-inch sheets get 4 across in the field, and looks like they're doing 7 or 8 at the edges. And then the 5/8 on the ceilings get 5 across in the field because they're a little bit heavier. So looks like they did 7 across on the edges of the sheets for the 5/8 as well. Day 2 of drywall. Lane and I are here outside seeding and strawing grass so we can get that growing. Let's check out what the guys are up to inside. We have drywall on the stairs. Looks like they're tackling the rest of these walls before we move on to the hard part, which is the upstairs. You were at least able to get off the stilts, Esteban?
Yeah.
That's nice. Oh my gosh. Finally cleanup time. 3 guys two for half of one of those days. And here's the scrap pile. It's really not too bad at all for, I don't know, what was this, 1,400 square foot or so that was drywalled. Had to run to the store and get 15 sheets of both 1/2 inch and 5/8, so we were a little bit light on the estimate. We framed this after the fact. That wasn't included in the estimate. And that left wall going up the stairs, we used 5/8 on that, and that was figured as 1/2 inch originally. So that kind of messed us up a little bit, but we are all said and done now. It's all good, ready for finishing. It's been about a week since we had the drywall hung. Dave was finishing up another job, and today is the first day of finishing. So Dave, his helper Josh are here. They're getting started on taping everything, making really good progress this morning. Just a few hours into it, and Dave and Josh got the whole ceiling taped, working on the walls now. Up around this column, we're gonna fill that with some mud, tape around it, and it should look like a nice circle column going into the ceiling eventually. Won't have those bolts exposed. Dave's using a slightly different type of corner bead down here. This has got paper already applied to it, so you don't need to screw it in, it just muds in. Goes a little bit quicker. Well, Dave and Josh headed out at like 1:30. They were pretty much done taping by 12:30, 1 o'clock or so, which was really quick. Big factor in that is how wide open this is. It's basically 2 big rooms, and we didn't do the utility room ceiling or the bathroom yet. I'm hanging the utility room ceiling right now. There was just so many cutouts, and it was so dependent on how we got all of our mechanicals in and all the order of operations. I just said I'd go ahead and hang that. So I didn't have to disconnect the water heater at a certain time or anything like that. I'm just doing it all today myself. It will be hung for them tomorrow, and Dave will come back and tape that a little bit. Same deal with the bathroom. I need to connect that upstairs shower and get it flood tested. So I was holding off on the ceiling there, but I think I'll at least hang the walls in the bathroom today so that they're ready to go. But it's just a little 5x5 bathroom. He can have it done with some 5-minute mud pretty quickly. Here's how hanging's going in the utility room. Got this one sheet up that just had those 2 box cutouts. Then about a third of a sheet that just had that semicircle cutout. Now I'm getting into the really dense cutout area for these ERV ducts. I'm getting another reminder today about how freaking heavy 5/8 inch drywall is above your head. I'm so happy that this utility room and the bathroom, I should say, are the only real places that we have to hang drywall on this whole build. My arms are already tired with just those little bits. I can't imagine doing all 107, 110 sheets, I think it was, down here, and like 160 something upstairs. A lot of drywall. Ended up having to split that one right at the pipe, but that's okay because I put blocking on either side of the pipe. Actually, all of these pipes. That is featured in the blocking video if you're interested. And that allows me to put screws all the way around the pipes. Like you see, I have 4 around this dehume turn, which is coming through a joist base. So without that blocking, I couldn't put screws to the right and left of that pipe. Now it's time for this big guy here. And of course, Elena isn't here anymore. She helped me hang this one, full-size one here. It just helped to have another person with a pole to hold that up. So this one I'm gonna have to get a little bit creative with. I put my ladder as far up as it would go, so I'm gonna try to rest it on that. And I might need to put like a ledger or something over there temporarily to help hold that side of the sheet. This will be a fun little project. Holy crap. This thing is heavy and it's bulky. Holy crap. All right, balanced on the ladders. This is gonna have to be a time lapse. I'll run out of memory if I keep this camera running. was miserable. That was probably the most strength I've ever tried to exert on this whole project. And I had it up there for a little bit, but it was not aligned right. There was like a 1/2 inch gap on the long side. So it was held up by 3 screws, and then I took 2 of them out, and then that was when it was game over. The last screw ended up pulling out and I had to just drop it. So I'm gonna leave this till when Elena comes back. I'll work on some wall stuff, or maybe if I can even cut the smaller pieces for the ceiling, that'll work too. But oh my gosh, that was terrible. This is why drywall lifts are made, but unfortunately I don't own one. If I ever need to hang another piece of ceiling drywall, you better be sure I am going to Harbor Freight or Facebook Marketplace or something and getting a freaking ceiling drywall lift. In the downstairs bath now, this is the last piece of Myrex I've yet to put up. This is also probably the biggest discontinuity in the whole plan because we softened this down before, this plan for Sega, and the existing Sega out in that back garage comes to the top plate here, 1 foot above where we softened it down. So I'm gonna put it on the ceiling here just to try to help keep moisture from coming into the ceiling from this bath. I don't know, I don't think it's gonna really do all that much, but all around this bath, it's 1 foot higher and there's no good way to sort of continue the Sega through the studs up and connect it to that top piece out in the utility room and back garage here. So we'll just do it anyway, just for completeness. And this is the very last piece of Myrex. I'm kind of looking forward to this. Beautiful. All right, last pieces of drywall going on down here now. All right, I've been doing a pretty poor job at documenting the downstairs drywall finishing process. Dave has actually already done the 3rd coat. So he did the first tape coat with Josh, helping him, came back and did a 2nd coat, and then the 3rd and final coat is just before sanding. So everything in here is 3rd coated. You can see the butt joints especially are all super wide because they need to fan out a little bit more to hide the seam, and he's ready to start sanding. I have a separate video on this little stair wall that I built here, but we're gonna put a freezer in here and probably do some fun little DIY mudroom type lockers or closets or something in here eventually. But we decided to drywall underneath the stairs too because this is just gonna be open for now. So we're just gonna paint it, use it as some storage, make it look okay for now. And then eventually I think I'm gonna trim this whole side out and do like some custom like slide outs here on rollers or something for maybe like shoe storage out of this one and then coat storage out of this one or something like that. Dave's working on mud in this bathroom right now. Actually, we just got that hung yesterday. I hung that. That was because we had to wait till I was done the shower pan upstairs so I could flood test it and then get that drywall hung. I was hoping to be done that before the hangers came through so I could have just had them hang that bathroom, but I just wasn't. So hung the utility room ceiling myself, which was a horrible idea. And then also that little bathroom too. I'm just so slow at it. It's such a pain in the butt. I'm not good at it, but got it done, and that's what matters. That was the last bit of drywall we have to put on the whole job, so I'm pretty pumped. We had to run out and get several more sheets too for the guys when the crew was here, so we do have some extra afterwards. Looks like we'll have 3 1/2-inch sheets and 2 5/8 sheets, and we bought 15 halves and 15 5/8 to supplement what they already had, so we used quite a bit more than we were even guessing. In total, I think the whole house and garage was like 275 sheets, which is quite a bit for a garage apartment. That's what you'd expect from a full-size house, but our footprint is pretty much the size of a full-size house, so the upstairs used quite a bit just because of all the different rooms, corners, slope ceilings. So it wasn't easy to make the material stretch as far with all the different angled cuts and triangles that had to be cut out. I think in total it was 160 sheets up there and then like 105 or something, 115 down here. It's a new day and Dave has started sanding. So he's already got a lot of the walls here in the main garage done. His philosophy is kind of walls, then ceilings. He's doing everything with the pole sander and just by hand with the sanding sponge. You can see not a whole lot's got to come off of it, just a little bit of white around the walls, but starting to get smoothed out.
Everything I had to do was put a little bit of mud right here.
With just a few more swipes of the sander, David put the finishing touches on all the drywall in the entire house. I have a lot of respect for him and the guys and gals who do this for work all day, every day. Construction can be so repetitive, and to do a job like this, you really have to work to stay focused and see the job through with quality. Up next is getting more than 7,000 square feet of wall area primed and painted, which we're tackling in-house by Elena and yours truly. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.